All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Do, 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 do. Oh, I was going to connect to this real quick. There we go. Connection sound has began. Sorry for logging on a little later. I know I'm usually coming on a little bit earlier, but I was kind of messing around with the camera, so I took my sweet time today. All right, Rachel, glad your power is back on. Yes, I hope it lasts for class too. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Holly. Hello. Salut, Miriam. Hello, welcome. Hi. Oh, so glad you guys are here. Good morning, Jessica. Yay. Let me make sure that my Streamlabs is set to the right thing. I only have one camera today. I forgot to charge the battery on my second camera, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do one camera today. Yeah, I was looking at some, I think I was on TikTok this morning and I was watching this guy, his house in Nova Scotia. So I'm really glad, Rachel, that you are safe and that even though maybe getting power back on has been a little touch and go, I'm glad that you are okay. You and your loved ones are safe. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. So originally I had a power flow plan today, but then I changed gears because I need a little recovery day and I really need some stress management today. Hi, Shayla. Good morning. Yes, is Pi here yet? She's in the guest bedroom, so she'll probably start waddling over very soon. All right, great. Rachel's here, another one of my Eastern Canadians. Welcome. So glad you are also okay, Rachel. Yay. Yeah, so again, like I was mentioning, I'm changing gears a little bit today because my body, my nervous system is just really overworking right now. I'm just really anxious about the storm that's approaching here from the Gulf of Mexico. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm like, okay, I need to do some body, mind, spirit soothing. So that's my plan for today. So hopefully this will be good for my Canadians that just went through it. Maybe this will help you step it down a little bit. Yeah, I'm seeing that 20-minute drive from the coast. Okay, yeah, so you were very, very close. Yeah. So where we are positioned on the peninsula of Florida, we are center and east. So the west coast of Florida is definitely going to get hit very, very badly with this storm. We are still in the cone of concern. We're definitely going to be seeing some very heavy rain, possibly some very fast winds, but definitely nothing like what the West Coast is going to see. We're about an hour and a half, 2 hours, like from Tampa and Clearwater, where it looks like that's going to be the landfall zone for Ian. Yeah, so I think we're going to be okay. The one thing that I'm really worried about If you don't mind me just getting this out of my system before we start class. Um, yeah, Holly, this is my first big hurricane season. My husband is from Houston, so as a Texan and as a Houstonian, he's been through a lot of hurricanes. He was not there for Harvey, but he was there for, the major ones before that. I think it was Hurricane Ike. I think that was the last big one he went through. That was really scary. So he's definitely a veteran and has been, really calming me down and being like, hey, guess what? It's okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm really nervous because I have had this retreat booked for a couple months. That's in Joshua Tree, so I'm flying back to my home state in California, and our flight is on Tuesday night. And so we're really like threading the eye of the needle here with our flight out, because I think we're going to be flying right as either winds are going to kick up a little bit, or technically like right before the winds start to gain a little bit of strength here where we are. So hoping that my flight gets out. But something that I realize is that, like, we can't control weather, we can't control Mother Nature. All I can be in control of is myself. And if worse comes to worse, I don't make it out, we postpone it, we change it, we make it work, and then I'll be able to be home, and I'll tell my pet sitters, hey, thank you for offering to literally spend the night with me and my cat and in my house, but we're gonna be here now. So whatever happens, we're gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna trust the process. I've prepared. We still have a little more prep to do before we leave. There's one door I'm going to tape up a little bit more, pull everything inside, and then we should be good. I wish I could, Adrian. Trying to get an earlier flight is kind of a nightmare right now. We looked into that, but it's right now, I think when we checked a few days ago, it was very expensive, so I'm guessing it's even more expensive now. Okay, yeah, I see that, Rachel. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen here. There's going to be a lot of down trees. Our power lines are buried, and through all the like tropical storms we've had here, we have not had an issue with power at all, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Yeah. Luckily, the people that are coming and staying with Pi, they've been through these a lot. They're ready to go. Pi knows them, loves them. They were here last night. We made burritos together. So she's very familiar with these lovely, lovely, amazing humans. And yeah, just super grateful. They're going to spend the night for the worst part. And then we should be all clear by like Thursday, Friday. So everybody just send out some good vibes and some good energy. And yeah, my intention for class is to just step it down, breathe, stretch, be in my body, and kind of prepare myself as we go forwards with this, yeah? Thanks, Nicolette. Does Pi need a thunder shirt? I feel like so there's a couple areas in our house that are definitely her thunder shirt. I also, in a case of emergency, have some anti-anxiety medications that we can give to her. So I have, all those out and ready and prepared. Thank you, Rachel. Yes. Thank you, Shayla. Thank you, Miriam. That means so much. Yeah, I feel like if we were just here, like, I feel like I would be a lot more grounded, because I'd be like, I'm going to be in this house. We're going to be watching everything, be on top of it. But because I'm going to be gone, it gives me like more of a feeling of uncertainty. Thank you. I'm sure like everybody's energy is going to protect the house, protect the Pi. Yeah. So hopefully flight goes out. Hopefully we can teach that retreat. Because I have so much awesome stuff planned. I have literally all these gifts like sitting in Anaheim, like ready to get brought to the event space. So, oh, thank you guys. Right, Holly? I don't know where are you on the East Coast? I can't remember. Yeah, it's like we clean the gutters, we, prep the surrounding of the house. I'm like, there's not much else we can do, Yeah, I believe in that too. Yeah, once we do the final prep, I'm gonna do like a little energy cleanse of the space, and I'm gonna go talk to the ground. I'm gonna go talk to the ground, talk to the plants, talk to the trees. Yeah, see, Holly, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to dealing with earthquakes, wildfires. I'm used to the opposite problem. All right, you guys ready to move around a little bit? I'm ready. I'm ready to do some stretchies and things. We'll see if we go an hour. We'll go as long as we can, because I just want to finish some work today, get some things edited and like prepped for posting. So let me grab some blocks real quick. I'm gonna have blocks, straps. I'm gonna have a little bit of everything. Oh, why not? Bring a bolster, bring a friend. Have all your shit ready for you. And if you have none of this shit, it's all good. You'll be just fine. Also, mention in the chat if there's any particular spots of your body you want me to work on. I'm gonna focus a lot on like the heart and the hips. At least that was my tentative plan, just kind of reading my own energy and stuff. So type it in the chat if there's something specific you want and need. And you can also cue up some music. I'm listening to this like Spotify curated chill mix for me. Seems to work out just fine. Upper and mid back, I love that, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna continue doing like the folding stuff, so the upper and mid back is going to be tended to for sure. Get into some nice folds, definitely work through some plow pose, some deep, deep curling folds. It's gonna be great. Solar plexus, great, yeah. Hips always, C-spine, got it. Yes, great, perfect. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, so we'll get started. We'll lay down on our back actually. Sometimes when I'm particularly stressed, laying down makes me feel like super vulnerable. So if you prefer to sit up in a hip opening position, I'm good with that. But if you're down to lay on your back, here's a couple things that you can do with blocks. You can support the outsides of your knees with some blocks. So I kind of have these on their like medium brick level on the outside of my hips. If you're looking for more depth in the hip opening, you can also support the low spine, do like a supported bridge with legs open. Or if you want to start to open up heart, so I'm thinking of like Jessica, if you want to start to open up or tend to that solar plexus region a little bit, you can start on some heart openers. So you can do a 3D capital T. Spine goes along the block, or it can also go across your mid-back area and have another block behind your head. So everybody pick your poison. I know that was a lot of options to choose from. But pick your poison. We're just gonna start with our breath. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Let the body be in the position that it's in, and draw your attention to your breath. Take note of how your breath is both in terms of its depth how many seconds you're using to inhale, how many seconds you're using to exhale, and where it feels like your breath is stopping, air quotations. So if you're lifted up chest-wise on some blocks, maybe you feel like the breath kind of stops in a diaphragmatic area. If your hips are pushed up, maybe you feel like you can even drop that breath lower into the stomach area. We're going to take 10 more breaths here. Great, we got 3 more breaths. All right, as you start to kind of circle towards that final breath, we're going to adjust our position so that we're all definitely flat on our back. So if you've got blocks supporting parts of your body, scooch them. And we're going to make a big X marks the spot on our mat. So I want you to lengthen your legs to the front corners. See if you can take your arms into a goalpost or even fully extending them towards the upper corners. And I want you to lift your chest just slightly. So arcing through that mid-back area. We're going to go into Banana Asana. Pick up your right leg, cross your right ankle on top of your left. That's step 1. Step 2, see if you can grab for your right wrist with your left hand. Plane the upper body over towards your left hand side. Now I want you to try to bring the right shoulder to the ground for sure. We're just getting a gentle side body stretch here on the ground. Great, last one in. Last one out. And let's bring you back to center. Uncross, recross, so up and over towards your right hand side. My left ankle is on top of my right. Right hand grabs for my left wrist, and my body is gonna plane and arc over to my right. All right, last breath here. And we're gonna bring ourselves back to center. Open up our arms into a T, and we'll bring the legs into a bent position. I wanna give you 2 different dynamic warm-ups that you can take. Old trusty windshield wipers. So taking those bent knees side to side, yada, yada, yada. If you're looking for something even more dynamic and a little more twisty through the spine, here's what I'm gonna offer. Definitely requires you to have some space to your right and your left-hand side. All right, so arms out at that T shape. One of your top legs, so I'm gonna start with my right, it's gonna come across body. I'm basically rolling onto my hip, and I'm gonna swing the leg kind of up towards my left hand. Maybe it even touches the hand. Bring it on back and do the same thing to the other side. Holy shit. Oof, my IT bands. So again, another pick your poison moment. Wow, my left side is feeling ancient today. Now we're gonna take these dynamic movements and evolve them into a twist. So if you're doing those windshield wipers, windshield wipe both of your knees over towards your left. You can stack the knees, wrap the legs, blah, 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 and hang out in that twist. If you're doing those big leg swings, you can technically swing that leg all the way around, grab for the outer edge, and take a nice twist here. If you're looking to evolve this long leg position even more, I'm gonna offer cat grabbing its tail. So your bottom leg will bend. Right hand is gonna reach for the instep of your left foot and take it down to the ground, yeah? I'll come a little more in frame with that one. Oh my gosh. If you're doing this cat grabbing its tail, really think about trying to get most or some of your right shoulder blade down onto the ground. So it's kind of a tough one to do early on, but I know some of you are flexy, bendy, experienced movers, so whatever feels best. Now, whatever twist you're in, focus on breathing down into the tummy, please, okay? This is the stuff right here. We'll do 2 more breaths, and then we'll do the same exact twist to the other side. All right, let's take these twists to the other side. So I'm gonna take that big leg swing first. And then I'll evolve it into my cat grabbing its tail. If you're doing the windshield wipies, pie! Yay! I knew she would show up right when she needed to. So again, if you're doing those windshield wiper variations, like I was saying, you can just stack the knees, wrap the knees, whatever feels the most comfortable. Great. Let's undo this bad boy. And then we're gonna take ourselves into a knees in position. So I want you to rock a little bit side to side, or if you're ready to start rocking up and down, take some rocks up and down the length of your mat. Hi, welcome to class. That's right where I'm going, so, you know, choose your laying down spot wisely, madam. All right, I'm gonna rock myself all the way up to a seated position. And I want you to extend your leg towards that upper right-hand corner. We're gonna go into like an open version of your Janu Shirshasana. So left foot again comes to inner thigh, and you can walk that left hip a little bit back just so you're open to more of like a diagonal position. Let's get into a side body stretch. You already did your banana asana, so this shouldn't feel too difficult to get into at this point. Your hand can stay up if you're feeling really tight. Think about anchoring your left hip downwards, okay? If you're feeling fine and flexy this morning, friends, know that also right forearm can come down to like the inside of the leg. That's probably my favorite way to do this one. And then the point that's going to be, I guess, a stressor point is the extension of your left or your top arm. So that's going to intensify things. So the angle in which it works closer to the foot and your ability to find extension through that arm. I'm gonna tuck in a little bit here and get nice and deep into this side body stretch. If you're able to grab the foot, one little tricky trick that I like to do, I like to grab for my big toe ball mound on the bottom of my foot, and then I like to step on the gas. I know Pi's body is like right in front of my foot, like maybe you can see it kind of edging out behind her a little bit, but I like to step on the gas, and that gives me an extra side body stretch all through those ribs and the intercostals, and it feels absolutely divine. We'll spend one more breath in this side stretch. Yes, and then we're gonna bring you all the way back up. I want you to plant this left hand behind you, and let's go into a grounded version of your flip dog. So I want you to push or fallen triangle. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a really nice feeling back bend right here. Right arm, I know I have my microphone near my face, but you can extend through that arm. Feels great, feels amazing. Push through those hip flexors. One more breath here. And then we'll take you back. We'll scoot you so that you face back towards the front, and just as a little interlude, let's go into a seated forward fold. So both of your legs to the front of your space. Try to walk your butt cheeks back and a little bit out and see if you can fold any amount. For my hamstring challenged friends, because I know we're out there, bend your knees as much as you need. Make it work for you. Know that also propping up something underneath your butt cheeks, a bolster, even a block, can give you a little bit of lift to get deeper into these seated forward folds. Because I know when we change the positioning of our legs, whether they're going like from a neutral position into an abducted position, having them together can just make things more difficult because we're working on different muscle groups. All right, feel free to let the back round as much as you need here too. I like to do a straight back entrance and then fold once I kind of take a beat in that apex. You're the best. You're the best, Pi. Everybody loves you. And you are also very hairy today. All right, we're gonna spend one more breath in this fold. Yeah. And then we're gonna bring ourselves up and we're gonna get set up for our side two on our Janu Shirshasana open. So I would extend my left leg to the corner, but Pi has commandeered that corner. So I'm gonna work with Pi here. Right foot is gonna come to my inner thigh. I'm gonna walk my right butt cheek back a little bit so I'm open to the diagonal. And then we'll start to work over towards that left foot. I like to just think of all these things in a gradient. You don't have to shoot for your max right away. You can kind of edge your way there. Yeah, literal edging of yourself. Oof. Oh yeah, that right side, yikes. All right, again, if the foot is available to you, cool. Maybe you're able to, again, grab for the big toe ball mound, like the bottom of your foot, and step on the gas a little bit. Get those really deep stretches. I'm feeling this light up. It's like fire on my QL back here. So really nice thing for the low back, side body here. All right, babies, let's bring you up. Ooh. Right hand is gonna plant behind you. We're gonna work into that opposition shape. So press through the right hand, lift through the hips, lengthen through the left arm. And then we'll bring you back home. And we're going to go for a second seated forward fold. So again, bolster under butt, bend into the knees. If you're on the other side of the spectrum and you're feeling just really good in your forward folds, here's my best suggestions for you to dive deeper. Stack some blocks at the bottom of your feet. So I'm going to put this on its lowest level. I can work towards it with a flat spine. This is kind of like my limit. Once I take it into the deeper one, then I start to really get some rounding, but that's okay. It's not a bad thing. So if you want to utilize the block for your folds, it's really amazing way to test your limits a little bit. And also gives you really nice benchmarks for your mobility, right? Because this is a fixed object. So if you're like, wow, I started with it on its lowest level and I've worked on these folds, now I can take it into that deeper level, right? So we'll spend 10 breaths here, really allowing the posterior side of your body to get some space. Breathe three-dimensionally into that back area. Imagine the lungs expanding right, left, and behind you. All right, last 2 breaths. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way up. And let's adjust ourselves onto all fours. Tabletop position. Spread out your paws nice and wide, and let's warm up your wrists a little bit. Shift forwards and backwards. Maybe you want to move in a circle. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds here to do any kind of wrist and hand things. I'm going to get this big clump of hair off of your face, my lady. Yeah. All right, final 10 seconds. And let's bring you back to all fours with hands in neutral. Let's take it back into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. And I want you to let your head just really hang and dangle here. Getting a little warm. So something that I like to do, I like to imagine that my head is like a big salt shaker, and I'm kind of giving myself some shakes, yes, no, just to kind of get my cervical spine to decompress a little bit. And if you think about it, your downward facing dogs are forward folds, right? They're just a lot more weight loaded because you're supporting your body weight on your hands and on your feet. Last breath here. And last breath out. Let's go dynamic. Lift your heels, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Let's do 4 more just like that. Roll forwards. Exhale, slide back. Sync it up with your breath as best you can. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Last 2. And then let's get you off your hands. Take a walk to the front. Both of your feet hip width distance or wider. I want you to hang and dangle here. Hands can come behind your neck, wrapping the forearms kind of around your noggin here a little bit, swaying side to side. If you feel like taking chest expansion, opening up more across the front line of the body, you can go for chest expansion grip. Hands come behind you, interlace, palms press, arms lengthen any amount. Know that this can be chest expansion too. Thumbs resting on your low back can also be chest expansion. Last breath. All right, let's roll ourselves up to standing. So soften into your knees a little bit, bringing yourself all the way up, 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 up. And once you're all the way up, take a little bit of a reset. We're gonna get into your feet and your hip flexors a little bit here. So weight is gonna go into your left foot, right leg goes back, and I want you to get onto the tops of your toes here. Lengthen out through your tailbone, finding posterior tilt in the pelvis. Great, and then we'll bring this right foot back in. Same thing on the other side. Transition your weight. Tops of the feet can get really crampy with this one, so if you cramp up immediately, know that you can roll onto your big toe ball mound. Just, mediate all those feelings. All right, let's bring you all the way back in. Feet are going to step out a little bit wider. Let's turn you out and get into a malasana or a deep squat of any kind. So you can even bend, just bringing your elbows onto your knees here, opening up your hips. Fold up the mat, place your heels on the edge of it. Or if you're able to get all the way down, hunker on down. Elbows can push into the inner thighs, giving yourself a lot of lengthening here. And by lengthening, I mean lengthening through your spine. Great, take one more breath in here with your spine nice and long. And with your exhale, I want you to do something you don't normally do in this shape. Fold forwards, take your body between the legs any amount, and let the head relax. All right, start to walk yourself up. Transition your way into a forward fold. So I like to just lean forward, lean my weight into my toes so that I can lengthen out through my legs, and transition your feet back into parallel. We'll plant your hands, step you back into a high plank position, and then we'll come all the way down onto your stomach. Hands are going to stay where they're at. Tops of the feet push into the ground. Let's lift you up and take a cobra position. So I want you to fire up your upper back muscles. One inhale. And exhale, release the forehead down. Walk the hands back a little bit, back into your cobra. Same thing, engage through your legs. You can even give yourself a little bit of a push into your hands. And then take it back down. Let's do one more. You can even go for your max cobras on this, yeah? All right, and then we'll make our way up and back to downward facing dog. Create that A shape into the body. Separate the feet a little bit wider. They can also walk forwards a little bit because I want to take us into a downward facing dog twist. Left hand is going to stay. Your right hand can even come to the center of your mat and you can just look underneath the left arm. Or you can get a little scoop underneath the left heel, walking your way even up the leg if that's a little bit too tight. Try to center your hips, isolate into your left shoulder girdle. One breath in. And nice job. Let's bring the right hand back down. Same thing onto the other side. So again, you can just walk that hand center, take a little peek, grab for any part of your right leg. Ideally, I want you to grab for the outside. So you're kind of threading into the front and around the outside. Nice, let's take it back. And I want you to walk your feet together at the back of your mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You don't have to go all the way next to them, but I want you to lift up the heels, bend the knees, and take them outside. Yeah? So it's kind of like Malasana, except feet together, heels up. Yeah? Same kind of thing, right? We're nice and open here. All right. Garland pose, right? We're right here. You can take your moment. You can even have blocks underneath your hands. Get a little balance. Walking your hands up onto your thighs. Testing your strength a little bit, seeing if you can levitate the butt off of the heels an inch or two. Great. Now let's take our garland into our folded position. Walk your hands forward and try to be up on your fingertips if possible. All right. Lift your torso just a little bit, especially if you're super deep. Take your knees forward, untuck the toes, and get into a child's pose. One of my favorite modifications to do in child's pose, particularly if I'm feeling very stressed, is to do it with a block underneath my forehead. So I want to aim the space right between my brows onto the edge of that block. We're going to spend several breaths here in this position, okay? Big belly breaths between your thighs. Great, we'll do 5 more breaths. I know. All right, Pi says she would like us to get out of this shape right now. So let's walk ourselves up. Oh, it always makes me feel so stoned after I do that. All right, let's do some deep shoulder openers. Hopefully you've got 2 blocks. We're gonna work puppy pose. So if puppy pose just on its own is a lot for your shoulders, then you can just do puppy pose like a normal person. It's a challenging shape anyways. But if you're like, hey, I really want to test myself a little bit today, grab your blocks, okay? So similar to your child's pose, except the knees are going to be more towards parallel and the hips are going to want to aim either a little bit in front or just over your knees. It kind of just depends on the mobility of your mid spine, all right? So I'm gonna walk my blocks forwards. I'm gonna also walk back so that you can see me. So I'm gonna walk myself forwards and really focus on dipping my chest down to the ground, right? So you kind of see how extreme that is. Now your blocks can also be on their low level, and you can even try to get chest and chin down to the ground here. Something that helps me to secure my shoulders, if that's a concern for you, while my hands are on those blocks, I'm trying to focus on external rotation through my arms. That way, I've got a lot more engagement going on through my subscaps and the other supportive muscles around the shoulders, okay? So again, choose what you want to do. We'll spend a few breaths here. You can just hang out in a shape, come up out of it, go deeper, or you can also make it dynamic, do some little bounces in and out of this, right? Oof. We got 3 more breaths. And let's start to walk ourselves out of that. Whoo, hello depth. Take your blocks if you haven't up on your highest level. And let's start to work our way into a lunge and do some of our final things on the ground. Because if you can believe it, it's already been 45 minutes. So hip flexor stretch here. My back knee is on the ground. You can join me in that if you like. Hamstring stretch. Take it back. You can point or flex your foot, up to you. And melting the chest down towards your shin bone. Back and forth. Let's do this a couple times. All right, now once you make it into your hamstring stretch, let's stay there for a moment. You can keep this position as you are, right? Say if you have something more advanced, like full splits, 3/4 splits, you wanna slide your body weight forwards and practice those a little bit, go for it. Or if you wanna do the opposite and shift backwards, you can take a little seat on your heel, yeah? This is gonna be helpful, especially for some of our like final quad stretches that we're gonna do here in a hot sec. All right, from that forward fold of your choice, let's take you back forwards. If you are in a split, 3/4 split, or just a half split, also bring yourself back. And then we're going to just switch. So I'm just gonna swap-a-roo right here on the ground, make it easy for myself. And into our hamstring hip flexors we go. Back and forth, pointed or flexed. I've been training my points again because my left side foot is very weak. So I've been really trying to train that. All right. Once you find this next hamstring stretch, I was like, what is it that we're doing? Our next hamstring stretch, again, copy whatever you did on the other side. Ardha Hanumanasana, 3/4 splits, full splits, or you follow me and head on back. I like this one a lot. We'll take about 3 more breaths here. All right, let's take ourselves back forwards. And then we're gonna bring both of our knees down onto the ground, and we're gonna try to work into hero's pose right now. So my first test, if hero's pose is something you're unfamiliar with, I like to bring my knees together, open up my feet. So like there's a big triangle or pizza slice behind me, and I wanna sit my butt right on the crust of that pizza. If your knees are not okay with this, then the first thing I want you to do is take a block, a couple blocks, a block and a bolster, whatever you want, to bring yourself a little bit higher and get some of that flexion off of your knees. A lot of yoga teachers will teach you that you have to keep your knees together, but it's okay if you need to separate them into hip width distance. The goal though is, like my one thing is to try to keep your knees on the ground. So once they start to float, if you're gonna go backwards, wind it back a little bit and see if you can stay stacked as best you can, all right? Okay, so if you're popped up on a block here, the first thing I want you to think about is a posterior tilt, so lengthening your tailbone, and maybe seeing if you want to just walk your fingertips back. This might be your max range of motion because of the block. If you're on your butt and you're feeling good, you can also take it back to your hands, focus on your posterior tilt. Maybe you take it down to your, whoa, sorry, let me headbutt my microphone. Take it down onto your forearms. And if you're feeling really comfortable, really good, your knees are doing a good job staying down, maybe you slide on down to your back. So with this one in particular, I want to feel like the highest point of my body is my solar plexus, okay? If you're all the way down, I like to bring my arms above my head, grab for opposite elbows, or at least that'll be a more traditional way. Keep thinking of lengthening your tailbone. We're gonna take 4 more breaths here. All right, after that 4th and final breath, we'll bring you back up. If you're all the way down on your back, I like to grab for my heels, push my elbows into the ground to get me up. Ooh. And then I'll take myself all the way forwards, sit off to one side, smack a butt, and then get my legs forward in front of me. Give your knees a little bounce out, because that was a lot of flexion. And then we're going to take ourselves down onto our back for final stretches, final things, okay? So So let's try to do a nice controlled rollback. And we're actually gonna try to transition that rollback into a shoulder stand, yeah? So you can also do this with the knees bent if that helps. Kind of helps you, I guess, a little more with the momentum that you need. So I like to, again, roll back. Basically pike with my hips, press elbows, and lift into my shoulder stand, yeah? So supporting my low back muscles as I do that. If you're coming from your bent leg position, you can again support yourself down, make your way back, support and pike. If this pike just isn't happening at all, know that you can also just grab a block, ooh, danger zone, and basically pop yourself into a supported bridge and lift the legs from there, yeah? All right, we'll spend a couple breaths here and then we'll start to work into plow. I've always wondered, like, what's a good way to mic myself for this? And I'm gonna try clipping this onto my pants. We'll see how it goes. Seems like it's gonna work okay. All right, now if you're here, you're chilling, you're having a good time, you're thinking about that plow position. You can test the waters by taking one foot first, yeah? Maybe the second one follows, so you find yourself in your full plow. Hands can stop supporting your back, especially if you get to this point, and you can work into a chest expansion. You can take that fold a lot deeper and even bend into your knees, bringing them close towards your shoulders. All right, last two breaths. And then start to plan your exit strategy. I like to go from my plow position and take a really slow pike. So I like to start to almost like slide my feet towards my head. That's going to articulate one backbone to the ground at a time, all the way down, 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 down. And then once I get my way kind of back into legs up the wall, let's do a hip opener of choice, whether that's happy baby, straddles. Even if you want to do legs behind head pose, that's available too. So any little back hip opener you want. If you're doing your legs behind head, I like to make sure that I swap at some point so that a different ankle is on top. So if you're trying that legs behind head thing, maybe you'll take a switch here in a couple seconds. All right, last two breaths. We'll start to let go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you, baby.
And then we'll take 10 breaths on our back here. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you. Let the ground support you. Two more breaths. All right, let's take your hands towards heart center. We're going to bring our hands into a prayer position, interlace the fingers, and I want you to take both of your thumbs and place them into the space like above your eye, inner eye, and under your brow. So you'll kind of feel them like right at that mid part of your bridge. I want you to push those thumbs into that space, almost like you feel like you're pulling your forehead up towards your hairline. Breath in and breath out. Good. Release your hands out to the side. Roll yourself off onto one side. And push yourself up to a seat. Take a second to express some gratitude for yourself, your space, any other creatures and heartbeats in the room with you. Thanks, Pi. Thanks for being you. It's a pleasure to teach you all today. Thank you so much for waking up and coming to class and being down for a recovery class. I really feel a lot better after that. So if you got to scoot, you got to scoot. We will not have this class next week because I'll still be in California if the plane goes off. So the next Monday power flow that we'll have will be that following week. I believe it's let's see if that's the 4th. I think it's the 11th, October 11th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not the best at math, but I think that's what the math is. Okay, I lied. It is the 10th. I was like, I swear it's either 10 or 11. Nice job, everyone. One thing that I wanted to do but didn't get to, which you can still do on your own, One of my favorite breath techniques when I'm dealing with stress is a pranayama called Nadi Shodhana, or twin rivers. So it's an isolated breath that works from left to right, right to left. So I'll give you just a quick rundown just in case you want to try it later. You can just close off nostrils with your pointer and your thumb. Close the right, breathe in with the left. Close the left, breathe out through your right. Breathe in through the right. Close and breathe out through the left. Even just doing one, I'm like, wow, that feels really good. So sometimes I'll try to do like maybe 10 rounds, 20 rounds, even 30 rounds or more. And that usually really helps my nervous system down regulate. So great technique. Really only works though if you have pretty clear nasal passages. So if you deal with allergies or things like that. Just doing normal counts, even box breathing, inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4 can be a really great way to also downregulate. Oh, thank you, Miriam. Yes, very much so needed. Thank you, Stephanie. Oh, Nicolette, send my love to the little ginger creature. I can't remember what its name is. Did you end up seeing if it had a microchip? I appreciate you, Jessica. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling very like my eyes want to take a nap now, which is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah. R.I.P. to your ankles. Oh, yay, Rachel, your power held up. Oh, thank you, Holly. So glad. I will. Cactus. I can't wait to be in some dry weather. It's going to be great. Yeah. I will, Miriam. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. Definitely going to plan some more and have some, I have some meetings once we get out there, like the next day, with a friend of ours, more so a friend of my husband's, that has some properties out there. So more retreats are coming. I know my West Coasters were pretty bummed this wasn't open to everybody, but it is coming. So thank you for being so patient and letting me, work with the owner of this space, just kind of get my bearings straight, because I really want to create a special experience for people. So this is definitely a beta test retreat, and I promise more will come. Oh, Marmalade, she did. The adoption agency has her on 10-day hold. Okay, there we go. Hopefully Marmalade gets to stay with you. Yes, Jessica, amazing. Oh, it'll be so great. It'll be so great once I'm able to do this. Just, getting the logistics down. It makes me miss living in California, where I could just drive to these places in a couple hours. But that's okay. We're out here. We're making it happen. I know we'll be back at some point. We'll be back. Well, all right, friends. Just got a text from my hubby, so I'm going to call him back. Just trying to make sure everything's good with the flight. So again, I won't see you guys for a live class again until next Thursday. Yeah, so the 6th, October 6th. Thank God it'll be October. Yeah, so I'll see you guys then. Granted, everything's good. We don't lose power, blah, 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 and it stays out. So y'all have a beautiful rest of your Monday. Thank you, Adrian. Think good thoughts. Say some prayers if you do prayers, rituals if you do rituals, whatever you gotta do. Yes. We will miss you. We will miss you, Nicolette. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Sending my best to all of you. Take care, Miriam. Love you all so much. I'll see you soon.